Science 9 Quarter 1 slem1. That is all about respiratory and circulatory system working together. But by this time, we will be focusing on respiratory system. What are the objectives? Number 1. Identify the key parts and function of respiratory system. Number 2. You have to explain how the lungs work. And the last is, describe how the movement of the diaphragm helps the air go in and out of the lungs. What are the parts of respiratory system? We have nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and the alveoli. Can you identify the parts of respiratory system on the picture on the left side? Yes, that is your trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, nasal cavity, pharynx, and finally, larynx. What are the functions of each part of respiratory system? Nasal cavity. Nasal cavity warms, moisturizes, and filters air that you inhale. Pharynx. Pharynx serves as a pathway for air and food. Based on the picture, pharynx connects nasal cavity and the larynx. Next part, we have so-called larynx. Larynx is your voice box, which is responsible in producing sound. It connects the pharynx and trachea. Trachea. Top muscular tube supported by a rings of cartilage which keep the tube from collapsing. Bronchi. Branch tube that connects the windpipe to the lungs. Bronchioles. Tiny branch of air tubes within the lungs and is connected to the alveoli. Alveoli. Small air sacs of lungs where exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens. Now we are done with the different parts of respiratory system. It's about time for you to describe the mechanism of breathing. For you to understand this, you have to know the difference between inhalation process and exhalation process. When you inhale, the air from the nose and mouth will pass through the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and finally in your alveoli, wherein the gas exchange happens. While in exhalation process, from the alveoli, the air will pass through the bronchioles, bronchi, trachea, larynx, pharynx, and finally your nose and mouth. So you can say in breathing mechanism that inhalation process is the opposite of exhalation process. Aside from knowing the difference between inhalation and exhalation process, you should also know the meaning of diaphragm. Diaphragm is the muscle that separates the chest from the lower part of the body. So based on the picture, here is your diaphragm. So what happens to your rib cage, lungs, and diaphragm as you inhale? As you inhale, your rib cage moves up, your lungs expand, and your diaphragm contracts. While in exhalation process, your rib cage back to its original place, your lungs relaxes, and your diaphragm relaxes too. That's all. See you on the next part of this slem1 Quarter 1.